this past August, I lost my job to a redshirt freshman in fall camp. And I was a rising senior. I started, all 13 games as a junior. I was going into my senior year like this is it. Like, I'm a senior. I was going for captain, like leader of the offense, and I was pumped. And I lost my job, and it was one of the toughest things I ever went through, honestly, because it was just that feeling of like letting people down and all that stuff. And I really had to push myself past that and look in the mirror and be like, what did I do? What can I do to improve? So that was a major setback. But honestly, when I talk to people about it, I really do think it's the greatest thing that ever happened to me. It taught me so much about myself. It taught me so much about my appreciation for the game and my appreciation for my teammates. And I was able to be there for my teammates. And, we played at Texas A&M, and then we went on, and I ended up starting in week 4 due to an unfortunate injury to one of my guys. But it was incredibly difficult, but proud of the way I handled myself in it. I always tried to keep my head high and just keep moving forward and just still be a leader, even though I was not on the field, but definitely incredibly challenging.
Welcome back to The Player's Perspective, a podcast powered by Hoosiers Connect. As the official NIL collective of IU Athletics, Hoosiers Connect provides exclusive access to IU student athletes, offering fans an inside look at their lives both in and out of competition. Tune in weekly to hear stories and perspectives from the incredible athletes that make Hoosier Nation
I really
proud.
just wanted a place that I can maximize myself and my potential in a starting role. And, I knew what coming to Bloomington would entail. I knew Mike was leaving, and I got to know Mike throughout the last couple months of the season, and knew he was leaving, so I knew there was a spot to fill. And I knew a bunch of guys were coming back. I saw Fernando transferred in, and I thought to myself, why not? IU checked every single box that I had, starting with the winning culture that Coach Sig has implemented, the guys in the locker room, and just the remarkable teammates and people that I get to surround myself with. So it was extremely tough leaving ND. There's no doubt about it, but I was so excited. It's onward and upwards for sure.
Was there anything specifically that either Coach Signetti said to you or that you experienced on your visit that you're like, this is the place to be? Because I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong. You committed on your visit.
I did. Yeah, I committed. My official visit was like a Thursday, Friday. Yeah. And no, I wouldn't say there's anything specific, but when I was in the portal for about a week, I kind of knew, you had those thoughts in your head, and you're talking to people, and you're really like making your list, kind of the boxes that I talked about, and checking boxes, and maybe a school doesn't check a box, but this school. So throughout the week, I knew what was kind of in my head, and IU checked every single box I had. And then I just really wanted to get on campus and be around the guys, feel the university. And we went to dinner Thursday night. It was me, Fernando, Coach Bostad, Carter, Mike, Coach Leeds, my dad. And it was just great experience. It was like we knew each other for forever, and it was a natural feeling. Left that dinner feeling really good and super excited because I knew, I was like, these guys are awesome, and these are definitely the type of people in the place that I want to spend my last year. And then we had kind of had the full day on Friday to, do the full tours and all that stuff on what you do on an official visit. So. And then I committed in Coach Sig's office, and then we went to another dinner again at Friday night, and it was just a blast. So there was nothing like a specific moment, but just being around everyone was great.
You have some big shoes to fill at the center position. Yeah. Mike Kadick leaving last year. What did he say to you? How has he helped you? He was here for 6 seasons, so with you only having one more season of eligibility left, has there been anything that he said to you or helped you out while you're either on your visit or once you committed?
Yeah, I actually talked to him a lot, just like um, even before I stepped foot on campus, and just texting with him, and he was kind of just telling me what I would get if I were to come here, and he was saying super positive things about Coach Bostad and how much he improved under him, and it was his first year playing center last year, um, and he kind of just gave me the rundown of practices and things he learned and techniques and stuff like that. So that was good to learn because you always like talking to people who players. You're going to get the coaching and stuff, but you want to hear it from the players as well. So he was extremely helpful. And yeah, I mean, it's a huge shoes to fill. He's like a legend around here. So no, it's been good though. And he's off to doing great things in Chicago. So, but no, he was a big help for sure.
So Hoosier Nation is probably dying to hear from you because you're probably one of the biggest recruits out of the portal that we got. Everyone was super excited. Someone who came from Notre Dame, coming from Notre Dame, that's in the state of Indiana, played in the national championship game. So just to give our Hoosier fans a little backstory behind you, can you just say 3 words to describe yourself and then 3 words to describe your game?
Okay, sure. I'll start with myself. Geez, this is tough. I'll go enthusiastic, leader, genuine,
I like it.
and then my game, intelligent, communication, tough.
I think those are 3 things that seriously you want in your starting center.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think so. I hope so.
That's amazing. Yeah. What got you started into football growing up?
Oh man.
Did your family play?
Yeah, so my family played, my dad played in high school, nothing serious. The biggest football guy was my grandpa. He played at Northern Illinois. He was a fullback. That's where we would always go to games together, like Maction on Tuesday nights. Yeah. He'd pick me up from school. I get to leave school early. We drive down. It was great. I grew up an hour and 45 from NIU. So, those were great memories. But yeah, I was kind of the only one in my family. I started in 4th grade, played throughout grammar school and haven't stopped since. So, it's been a blast, and it's the best sport in the world.
Yeah. You played in the national championship game last year.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, it was a surreal experience, honestly, and I'm super grateful for it. Obviously we came short, right? And it was a tough pill to swallow. Being in that locker room after the game and kind of just knowing that was probably my last time putting on and taking off the jersey was extremely difficult, but super grateful for it. And it was a incredible journey, and obviously the landscape of college football is unique now, playing that far into January and 4 extra weeks, and it was probably 6 or 7 extra weeks of practice. So it was incredibly difficult, just maintaining your body and being ready to play each and every week. So a lot to learn from it, but super grateful for the experience, and it was a blast, really.
So is it crazy that you played against IU in the college football playoff game and now you're in a Hoosier uniform this year? What is that like? Because I bet some of the guys you're going against in practice are the same guys you were going up against in that game.
For sure, yeah. And yeah, it's a little weird, but at the same time, it was weird for the first week.
Right.
But no, I mean, guys would throw jokes and stuff like that, and we joke back and forth for the first couple of weeks, but it was all in fun. And honestly, it's kind of helped me out in spring ball. Yeah. It's I had a game plan for this defense that I'm playing for 3 weeks, 3 straight weeks. So I kind of remember some things. So it's been smooth, and it's kind of helped me out, to be honest.
So I'm going to ask about your coach, Coach Bostad.
Yeah.
How's he been?
He's been great. He really has. Leads the room really well. He's a really good communicator, and he expects a high standard from us, and we do ourselves. So each and every day we gotta live up to that standard, and when we fall short, he'll let us know about it. And that's how great coaches are. And his experience has been really pivotal in me learning new things. He coached in the NFL, he coached in college, and now he's here at IU. And just being able to pick his brain and learning different things and maybe a different scheme from what I'm used to, but a scheme that's going to carry over into the NFL or just different verbiage and stuff like that. It's been overall just a really positive experience.
So has the transition been pretty smooth then? Because I know when I transferred, it's like you said, new verbiage, new everything. It's like you need to learn the ins and outs of IU football, off the off the field, outside of the film room, stuff like that. Has that been a smooth transition, or is there always like that little bump in the road?
Yeah, I think overall it's been really smooth. Like you said, learning new language and how guys do things is always a little challenging, and you always don't want to step on people's toes, or you want to do the right things, right? But I would say the guys in the O-line room have been great and just like helping me out and pointing me in the right direction, or so shout out to like Bray and Carter and those guys for helping me out. But yeah, overall it's been really smooth, and like I kind of tell people who ask me that, it's like, this is my 5th year of college football, and this is my 4th offensive coordinator, 3rd head coach, and 4th offensive line coach. So I've kind of, I've been able to adapt to many different systems, and once you've been around the block for a while, you kind of, it's all the same world, right? And then you just got to put it into your own concepts and scheme. And then that's where the language comes in, which is the biggest barrier to learn, for sure.
In the O-line room, is there anyone that has like the biggest personality, or anyone that's the funniest, or?
Carter's pretty funny. He's just kind of a clown. But no, he's great. We went golfing like the other week, and he's pretty good. He's better than me, so I got to get him back in a couple weeks here.
Do you like golfing outside of football?
I do, yeah.
Is that like what
big
some of your
weekend
hobbies?
this weekend?
Oh, big
the Masters,
weekend.
yeah.
Weekend.
Yeah. No, I like it. I mean, it's nice to just be outside and hang out with the guys, and a lot of these guys like it too. So it's been great.
When did you know you wanted to play college football, or were you like? When did you start getting recruited to play college football?
I think I got my first offer like the summer, like May, June, going into my junior year.
Okay.
Started my sophomore year on varsity at right tackle. That was the last year I played on it as a tackle, but really great high school football program. So on the south side of Chicago. So, very high competitive football there, and was lucky enough to start my sophomore year. And then I think I got my first offer, May or June. And then, kind of just developed, grew. Definitely, I grew from like 6'2" to 6'4".
Late into high school? Like that?
From probably like sophomore to junior year, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then it kind of just, it went on from there.
So is that when you moved to center then?
I played left guard in high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were a big just counter scheme in high school. So I played left guard, and I started playing center my first practice at Notre Dame though. So I immediately went to center.
How was the transition from playing guard to center?
Yeah, honestly, it took me a while, especially because it was guard in high school and then center in college, which is just a whole different speed and so much more responsibility. And it took me a while. There's no doubt about it. And I struggled at first, and, but it all comes, so it was a process that I had to learn, the importance of the snap first and getting the ball back to the quarterback and making your calls and making sure everyone's on the right page, and all that to take in as a freshman just getting on campus was challenging, but it's a challenge that you got to step up for. So
yeah, you described yourself as a leader on the field. How does your leadership role change? Not really change, but as a center, you have to be a leader. You have to be the one kind of talking a lot in the huddles with Fernando. How is your guys' relationship on and off the field? Yeah, it's been great. He's been great to get to know. I mean, him and his little brother are walking everywhere together, and they've been great. Two of those guys are awesome.
But no, like I said, I mean, he was the first one I met when I got to campus. Like he was the first one to come to dinner with us, and
Do you think that was on purpose?
it possibly could have been, but he's been great, and he's been, balling this spring. I'm super excited to see him just rip it this fall, and just getting to know him and doing that, center quarterback relationship. It's really been a great experience, and I'm sure he would say the same, and it's just going up from here for sure.
So it's like 9:30 when we got here. You said you had already finished lift and meetings, and I don't think a lot of people understand what like spring ball is like with like your schedule. Can you like run through a day in your life right now in the spring with like waking up at like 5 a.m. and then doing all that?
Yeah. So the days we don't have practice, we practice Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm up at like 5:15, getting to the facility at like 5:20, 5:30, and then lift starts at 6. So we lift from 6 to 7, and then we meet 7 to 8:30, 8:45, depending on practice, 8:30, 8:45, sometimes 9.
That's like compliance.
And then you get check in for breakfast, and then we're done.
Yeah.
But then practice is similar. Practice days, Tuesdays, Thursdays is up at 6, and then breakfast check in by like 6:30, and meetings start at 7:30. So Saturdays are a little different just because it's a weekend. I think we scrimmage most Saturdays, so. It's early. I mean, it's a grind. Spring ball is a grind. Everyone who plays college football can relate to that. So, and everyone in the country is doing it.
Yeah.
So you just got to do it better than everyone in the country.
Yep. Are you a morning person? Does this bother you?
No, I mean, it depends. If I sleep well at night.
You've also been doing this for 5 years.
Yes,
so it's
exactly.
Like, you know what to expect.
Totally. And you get used to it as, you get later in the spring.
Okay.
But it's important to just put the phone away and go to bed.
Go to bed.
Yeah.
And I understand.
Yeah.
What's worse, spring ball or fall camp?
Ooh, I mean, I would say fall camp just because it's
like every single
so
day.
Condensed. Like spring ball, you get like, you practice on Saturday morning, but then you get, the rest of the day, Saturday, Sunday off, and then
fall camp's like every single day, isn't it? Like, and you're here
every single day. Yeah.
all day.
Every school has their own schedule. From what I've heard here, it's 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Which is similar. But yeah, it's Monday through Sunday or Monday through Saturday or yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah.
What has the culture been like so far since you've been here?
It's been great. It really has. It's a culture of dudes who just are competitive and who want to win, and who got that taste of winning last year and are just so hungry to live up to that standard that they set for themselves. And then I'm coming in living up to the standard that they set as well. So it's a culture of competitiveness, toughness, resiliency, just guys oriented to one goal, and that's winning and being the best that we can be every single day, and living up to that standard every single day.
Like you said, you like to golf outside of football, but how is it balancing like football practice, school, your social life, getting sleep, all that stuff? How has that been?
It's something that you learn.
Yeah.
It's something that you learn throughout your years in college. I'm sure you can attest to it as an athlete as well.
How long did it take for you to learn? Like going into your freshman year, I feel like all freshmen, you're like,
time management.
It's terrible,
it's crazy. But I mean, that first year, I feel like it's such a big learning curve. That first like freshman, because then you get, your first college classes, and you got to roll into that and stuff like that. So the first year is huge, and you really learn by the end of it how your days are gonna go. But then now as a 5th year senior, it's much easier.
It's much easier.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like after 5 years of playing a college sport, it's like, okay, your first like 2 years are pretty terrible. Then it gets better. And then like your 5th year, you're like, oh my gosh, I can finally
Take a deep breath for a little.
take a deep breath, be an athlete.
Yeah.
It's fun to just be able to kind of focus on your sport and be
Yeah.
present all the time.
I agree. I agree with that.
It's been a lot of fun.
For sure.
Just like going back to the locker room and at football practice, is there been a moment in practice where it's just been like really exciting and you can kind of see the growth of the program, I guess, coming from last year into this year, just knowing what the program was last year and having the potential of being really great this year?
Yeah, I think, for example, we scrimmaged last Saturday,
Yeah.
and I think it was just a great competitive balance between defense making plays, offense making big plays, Fernando taking off for a huge scramble, and then, Pons making a huge play. That just competitive balance of offense, defense, and then you mix in special teams. And
Yep.
it was just a great to see, because it was our first scrimmage. So it was the first time, you can kind of just say, like, let's put the ball down and play.
Mm-hmm.
So it was great. It was a ton of fun, too. Like, that competitive nature, once you start ramping it up, it's a blast. And like I said, just that balance between, offense, defense, everyone making plays, everyone flying around.
Yeah.
It was a ton of fun.
So Coach Signetti's been pretty vocal about practices recently. How has he been inside of the scrimmages, inside of the practices, as, I guess, your head coach for this year? I think you said you've been through a couple head coaches, so how has he been so far?
Yeah, I mean, he's been great. Overall, super positive experience, and he's going to tell you how it is.
Yep.
And that's what you want from a great coach. Honestly, there's no sugarcoating in this game, and great players don't want to be sugarcoated at all. And like he said, like I've said, like there's a standard that they set last year, and then we're trying to raise the bar every single day. And when we don't live up to that standard, he's going to let us know about it. And he did yesterday. And that's just how it is. And we have a responsibility to take action. And no one's gonna mope around and be like, "Oh, today was a bad day."
Yeah.
It's like we got to go now. There's that urgency to improve, and it wasn't there yesterday, but he let us know about it, and then we continued on from there. So, he's been great. Really, really has been great.
Has there been a part of your game that you've been trying to improve, especially for your last season?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm always trying to, grade myself and look at myself and look at things that I can improve. And I think just footwork is a big thing for me, especially at the center position, having to go left and right, sometimes having to go straight back and pass protection, whether it may be just really shoring up my footwork. And spring's been huge for me, and just learning what Coach Bostad wants from the centers and applying that technique, because you can learn about it, you can talk about it all you want, but you really got to go do it. And just footwork and really getting to the second level of blocks and getting my hands on guys and just keep grinding every day at it.
That's awesome. Has there been like a moment in your career where it's been like a big setback, or like it could be an injury, it could be maybe you're not playing as much as you want to or playing at all? Has there been any time in your career that's happened?
Yeah, just this past year, and which not a lot of people know about, because when I went into the portal, a lot of people were like, "Why is the starter transferring?" All that stuff. This past August, I lost my job to a redshirt freshman in fall camp, and I was a rising senior. I started, all 13 games as a junior. I was going into my senior year like this is it. Like, I'm a senior. I was going for captain, like leader of the offense, and I was pumped, and I lost my job, and it was one of the toughest things I ever went through, honestly, because it was just that feeling of like letting people down and all that stuff, and I really had to push myself past that and look in the mirror and be like, what did I do? What can I do to improve? So that was a major setback, but honestly, when I talk to people about it, I really do think it's the greatest thing that ever happened to me. It taught me so much about myself, it taught me so much about my appreciation for the game and my appreciation for my teammates. And I was able to be there for my teammates. And, we played at Texas A&M, and then we went on, and I ended up starting in week 4 due to an unfortunate injury to one of my guys. But it was incredibly difficult, but proud of the way I handled myself in it. I always tried to keep my head high and just keep moving forward and just still be a leader, even though I was not on the field, but definitely incredibly challenging.
That is so interesting because I have a very similar story. I transferred to IU, thought I was going to have a starting spot right away. Didn't start when I first got here, was in complete shambles. And it was hard. Like you said, it's hard to play through that, come to practice every day, show up every day, knowing that you aren't the starting center, knowing that I wasn't going to start in games. It's crazy to say, but it hurts your ego a little bit. So
sure.
It lets people down, but it also selfishly it hurts your ego. Same thing happened to me. Unfortunately, somebody went down, and then that's when my starting spot came available. But it's crazy because as athletes, I don't think people don't realize how much that really messes with your head and your self-esteem and how you are as because you focus on yourself as an athlete all the time. And then it's you go home after practice and you're well, you think it's the end of the world. Absolutely.
And I think that's the stigma we see around college athletes. And it's incredibly challenging and it's unfortunate. But like I said, it's that perseverance and that power to push through and think of yourself outside the lens of just what you do on the field and what you do on the court, which can be impossible at times or seem impossible. But it's kind of things you learn, and that's college athletics, and there's so much to take away from it. And like I said, I'm grateful for it. I'm sure you are.
Right. You look back and you're why was I that upset? Yeah. You're probably we made it to the national championship game. What? Half of that stuff couldn't be possible without, like you said, the redshirt freshman going and starting for the first couple games. And it's just crazy.
It is.
College athletics it messes with your head, but it's sure fun at the end.
It's the best job I've ever had.
Oh,
for
yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna do a couple rapid fire questions, since we ended that with it's kind of on the sad side, I guess. Okay. What is your favorite hype song before a game?
Oh God. I'm more like country.
There we go.
I don't like to, but I would say if I had to pick rappers, it'd be like NBA YoungBoy.
No, you don't. You do not listen to rap before a game. You have to listen to country.
They're a little bit. I mainly country.
Okay.
The first song, every song that I walk when we're getting off the bus.
Yeah.
And walking into the stadium is Hell's Bells every single time.
So that's what you're gonna, you've obviously heard of the walk here.
Yes.
When you walk, so that's what you'll be listening 100%. To every single time.
Yep.
There we go. Will you ever get the aux in the locker room?
No. That's usually taken up by the time I even have a chance to do it. So.
Who has the aux in the locker room most of the time? Anyone specific?
Whatever D lineman is feeling to go up there, it's always them, and I don't know half the songs they're listening to.
Right. What's your go-to cheat meal?
Oh, geez. I love pizza, but also just a giant sub from Jersey Mike's. I think Jersey Mike's is number one by far.
Do you have a favorite pizza place on campus yet?
Not yet. I'm still feeling it out.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, we already asked that. Who is the toughest opponent you've ever faced? Either somebody specifically, or it could be a team.
Yeah. This past year, the best Georgia was incredibly challenging. There was a defensive tackle on Georgia who was up there for sure. And then this answer always surprises people when they ask me that, but 2023, we played Duke at Duke. They were 4-0, we were 4-0, and they had a incredible D-line, and that place was packed, and that defense was really good, and that D-line particularly was great.
How often have you gotten homesick since being in college? You're not too far from home.
Yeah,
being in
right.
Illinois.
Right. I was very lucky to this is only a 3-hour drive, so that's
Yeah.
not even too bad. But at Notre Dame, it was, an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
So it was great. But a few times, I mean, it's always nice being home and just, mom cooking for you or whatever. So it's always great.
Favorite spot on campus?
I would say just like Kirkwood, like, they just opened up to eat outside. Sample gates are right there. Beautiful spot. Just walking around and there's so many places to eat down there too. So many things to do. So it's been great.
Any pregame rituals?
Not necessarily. I love to give myself enough time to warm up and like do my own thing. I hate the feeling of being rushed. So I always give myself plenty of time to go out there, get a sweat in or whatever, and then, go sit back down.
Favorite stadium you've played in?
Ooh. I gotta think. There's been a lot.
Yes.
New York, the Yankee Stadium was awesome. We played there last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We played in the Yankee Stadium. We played Army there in November.
Okay, yeah.
Hard Rock Stadium in Miami was awesome, and there was great grass.
Would you rather play on grass or turf?
It depends. Like, Yankee Stadium grass was pretty horrible because it was like half outfield and half like fake. But Hard Rock was amazing. Grass feels great on the feet, but turf you're more used to because there's cracks on turf and stuff. Now I would say just like I had the experience of going over to Ireland and playing in Aviva Stadium, so that was great too.
Who'd you guys play there?
We played Navy.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
That is so cool. That's awesome.
It was great.
Well, it was nice having you on. Put your name
stuff.
in. Super excited to have you.
Super excited to be here.
Get to know you.
Can't wait.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
We hope you loved this episode of Players Perspective. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Stay connected with Hoosiers Connect on social media for even more exciting content featuring IU student athletes. Until next time, Hoosier Nation.